It seems like every single day they find a new reason to hate on Deion Sanders or Shedeur Sanders. So this is what has everyone in the college football world very upset. Deion Sanders.
I don't mind in here, but outside of this room, up the elevators, escalators, whatever, profanity needs to stop. I heard it myself, especially in the dining area. It needs to stop. We're not the only ones in the cafeteria. You need to be respectful and make sure
that's why people are mad.
Our women. If you get out of pocket and start calling our women by their first name, that's a problem with me. So you should tell them how to address you. Ladies, tell them how you want to be addressed. Miss
Kathy. Miss Grace. Miss Ellie.
There you go. Miss
Mara. Coach Chess. Coach Motivate.
There you go. We got any other ladies in now? What am I missing?
Miss TA.
Stand up, stand up. Y'all got to stand up? What you should do is tell your parents to come and watch you practice. So when you have your parents call the coaches going to report to me, and I'm going to call your mom and your dad and tell them to come and watch you practice so they can see who you really are. Because you telling them you Tarzan, and most of the time you Jane. Okay? If you have a problem mentally, physically, psychologically, medically, let us understand so we can help you with the problem. The problem is you medicating the pain. Medicating the pain. It's pain. The pain ain't going nowhere, and you still constantly medicating with people, places, and things, weed, alcohol, whatever you find, because you're feeling pain somewhere. Let us help you through that process. Don't wear your old team's gear.
Okay, this got people really mad.
In this facility, that's disrespectful. That would be like your lady that you have currently wearing her ex stuff. How you feel about that?
How you feel about that?
She sitting up there with a shirt on that has her ex name, while you taking and feeding and booing her up. That's how I feel about that when I see you come into the cafeteria, you eat our food with your last teams on it. Obviously, if you want to stay there, you should have stayed. Okay. I already talked about respect the women in this building. The next thing we have something that I haven't had since Jackson State, and I love it. I respect it. They didn't think I would allow it, but I do. And I did. But when we was at Jackson, he had a theme. Anybody that was at Jackson with me, where you at? So when we had the punter, I called him Black Punter, because that was just new to me. I had really never seen a black punter. And when I said Black Punter, what did y'all say?
All right, we're getting into all types of crazy stuff. So I want to get into what actually made people upset. What really made people upset were some of these fines that apparently Coach Prime is shipping out on certain people. So let's get to the end here, because it looks like he's actually not talking about the fines right now. But I have a little clip too.
That fathers didn't raise them, so I'm trying to understand, even though you took on the responsibility as the man of the house, when did you become a man? Who told you was a man? Just because you have all the male parts and they're functioning properly. Who told you was a man? Some of y'all just told me they still speaking like a child. Right?
Yes.
Right? What you heard?
They don't want to. I don't want to get too much in this, because they don't. Apparently, the Deion Sanders haters, they don't mess with the Bible, man. They don't rock with the Bible, and that's okay. This is where it comes into play. Obviously, you see the fines here. He was speaking about the no profanity and stuff like that. So I don't have the actual clip where he was talking about that. I think this might be actually in the video from, what's it called? Not Duke the Scoop, but they have some other people who do some online videos as well, and they typically handle those situations. So, but here are the fines. Now, what's crazy about the fines, and it's crazy about, first off, I want to go through each thing. So the first thing, people were mad that Colorado has a rule that you can't wear other people's teams in there. I want to say right now, as someone who, again, my height was high school football, dog, we weren't allowed to wear other high school like in the facility. Like this is like such a bare minimum boys rule. Like I don't even understand why people are mad about that. Again, people just want to be mad about something. But then this is where I think these were some leaks. I think that's why it wasn't in the video. This is where people really got upset. People got upset because Deion Sanders is fining players for doing terrible things, or not. No one say terrible things. Some of it's terrible, some of it's bad. But if you're going to be paid like a professional, you're going to be fined like a professional. Now, I know there was a college. This is so crazy because people only get mad when Deion does it. There was a college high school coach that was pretty vocal about doing this. I couldn't find that example, but what I could find in the same sport is Kirby Smart. In 2024, July 16th, Kirby Smart using NIL fines to deal with driving issues. So Kirby Smart can use NIL fines for people driving recklessly, right? Going crazy. You know how crazy them UGA boys are. They be wilding over there, right? But when Deion Sanders does it, it's an issue, it's a problem, it's a situation. That to me don't make a lot of sense. That to me seems like y'all just are conveniently upset about certain things. And it got a lot of people upset. Obviously, all these different fines, XYZ. You got agents speaking out. This is an agent, Mr. Darren Hedner. He says this exposes the fiction of NIL license agreement. Their employment contracts disguised to avoid labor protection, workers' comp, and union rights. If players are employees in all but name, fined for tardiness, required to attend, and subject to performance obligations, they deserve employee protections. Can't have it both ways. Either these are real licensing deals and you can't fine someone for being late to practice, or admit it's compensated labor. Now, again, I think people are mad at the fines. I just think it's funny that they're using him as the example. They're not really mad at Deion Sanders because I think a lot of people, I gotta be honest with you, I think most people agree with this. Like, I think this just makes sense. If you have a job, right, there are certain requirements with your job. The problem is, like he's saying, for some reason, we're trying to not treat it like a job. The NCAA is like holding on to dear life for this idea that they're amateurs. How are they amateurs making money, getting paid to play the sport? Like, I don't know how much longer you can keep up the amateurism ruse, right? Amateurism excuse at this point. So I think Deion Sanders is just crossing in between a crossroads as to the reality of the situation and the reality of the situation, right? The reality is that, hey, they're not employees. The reality is I'm paying you up because some of y'all millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and y'all coming here smelling like weed, right? Coming in drunk, coming in talking about, you know what I'm saying, talking to my lady staff in crazy ways. I don't like none of that. So you're going to be fine. Now, the issue, and I really do think the issue, and it always comes back to, what's his name? The NCAA, right? The issue really is they don't have a spine. They don't have real rules. They're not setting things up in a real way. So these fines, which in all totality, I don't really know if you can enforce them like that. You know what I'm saying? Like in all totality, not sure what you can really do at enforcing these types of rules and these types of fines, because these are NIL deals through certain agents. So the agents are going to have to be notified of these things. The agents are going to have to be told about a lot of these things. So it makes it a little bit sketchy when it comes to doing those types of things. And of course, Acho has something to say about it.
The dilemma is, I don't know that this plays well for Deion. He's already losing recruits. Jordan Seaton, former 5-star, probably first-round pick, just committed to LSU 2 days ago. So I don't know how well this will play out for Deion, because at the end of the day, Deion, you got all these rules that other people don't publicly have, and y'all losing games. Yeah. Like, it's just another reason to not go to Colorado. But, like, as a man, I love what Deion Sanders is trying to instill.
Yeah. Nah. And that's my problem with Acho. Acho, he gets half-truths. Oh, Deion Sanders is losing all these players. Deion Sanders has a top 15 ranked transfer portal class. He lost 32 players and brought 47 players in. Yeah, I get you lost Jordan Seaton, but Lane Kiffin's tampering ass, he stole everybody. Like, I don't know what you want. When Dabo has to come out and talk about the tampering, right? I think there's something else going on, right? So nasty from Acho to spin it like, oh, you're losing players. Yeah, but what about the players he brought in? What about the group of 5 players that he brought in? The Alabama players, the Notre Dame players, all these Power 5. What about them? What about the outwardly public Kirby Smart talking about NIL? What about the outwardly public basketball coach talking about NIL? I just don't like it. But I get it. Y'all need someone to be upset about. So whenever y'all need someone to be upset about, they typically point towards Deion Sanders. But it's something that's not only is it boring, they're getting fined, but it's something that they should be allowed to do. It's the NCAA has caused so many dang issues and made things so gray when things could just be black and white and make a little more sense. It's nastiness. But again, the kids are the ones that are going to have to suffer with confusing fines and even more confusing contract negotiations. Y'all let me know how y'all feel below in the comments. Y'all be great. See you next up. Peace.